This is Wholesaling Houses Elite, the no fluff and BS podcast with tips and tricks to help you become an elite wholesaler. Our guest will spill the beans on what it takes to be the best.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Before we get started on today's podcast, I want to introduce you to today's sponsor. It's YellowLetterHQ.com. Now, I'm going to say it very slow so you can write it down. YellowLetterHQ.com. If you're doing direct mail, this is a no-brainer. They're number one in customer service. They get their letters out absolutely fast. And I personally know the guy Todd over there, and he's awesome. So if you're doing direct mail and you want innovative postcards and mailers that work, make sure you go visit YellowLetterHQ.com. and enjoy this podcast.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Maxwell, and welcome to the Wholesaling Elite Podcast. And this is the first one I'm doing in this brand new creative space I have built, and I haven't even given you a tour of the place, but look out for that video soon. To the left of me is my guy, Tommy Holt, all the way from Atlanta. Tommy, how you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm blessed, man. Thank you so much for having me here, man. This place, it's all right.
It's okay,
It's
right?
a little something.
Second to yours, right?
Yeah, second to mine. It's doing a little something for me right here. This is really feeling nice.
This is awesome. I got you here the first time in this studio, and obviously, you know, it's cool because we're face to face. We get to talk about like your business and deep dive into your stuff. And kind of tell me first, like, what market you're in when it comes to wholesaling.
Yeah, so I am in, obviously, the Atlanta market, man. We focus primarily in Fulton County, DeKalb County, Cobb County. And then for myself, I buy in Macon, Bibb County. So it's actually pretty diverse, the different counties. So I kind of have to be able to navigate through that. Macon is a little bit lower end market. Fulton County, DeKalb County, Cobb County, a little bit higher end market. So it's a pretty cool place to invest.
So when you say you buy, you're talking about your own personal
properties.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back. Tell me kind of like how you got into real estate, and you know, all the way. You want to go all the way up to where you are now. Tell me, how did you? Where you just got into wholesaling? Was that when you first discovered?
No. So first I got in, obviously, as a real estate agent in 2008, like the worst time to get into real estate. And so I got into real estate then, and I was still a cop. So I was kind of doing the cop thing, but then doing the real estate thing. And I figured my mindset was like, well, police officers are going to come in and out. Rookies going to come in. They're eventually going to get married. They want to get a house, right? Yeah. So they're going to buy from a police officer. That's what I was thinking. And so I got on that side, man, and it was, I mean, I learned a lot, but it was horrible. It was horrible.
So you got your real estate license because you figure, you know, all you cops, guys, and police, you're close. And you say, listen, when guys start coming up, they're going to want to buy real estate. I can put a little extra money in my pocket.
Exactly.
That's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea, but cops are kind of like a little finicky, man. Right? Yeah. So I was just wasting all my gas every weekend, driving people back and forth, seeing all these houses. And they would just never buy, or they would buy sparingly. But what I did see, I think the biggest point that most people can get from looking at your success, my success, other people's success, is that whenever you see success, there's obviously some failures that came before that. A lot of them. And so I saw myself kind of failing as a real estate agent, but what I did see, I saw a lot of investors making a whole bunch of money. Yeah. And I was like, man, there's something about this.
Especially in the time where you were, when the market was diving, and then anybody that had cash was picking up stuff for pennies on a dollar.
You can wholesale on the way down. That's the best way to do it, because you don't know where the bottom's at. So if you can just keep wholesaling while it's going down, because everybody else is guessing where the bottom's at, and they don't know where it's at. But that's kind of like the silver lining, is that I was like, man, how does this person making all this money? All these investors coming into the office of ERA. And walking out with these checks, and I can't even sell a house.
So you're moonlighting as a police officer. Yeah. You are doing real estate. You realize that you're failing, and then you get to a point where you're seeing real estate investors make money. What's that strip? Because there's so many different ways to invest in real estate. How did you find wholesaling though? So for that, we kind of have to fast forward. So I did that, and then I kind of just fell out of love with real estate for a little bit. Like I always liked it, but it was at one point I was just beat down. Yeah. And so I decided I was like going to step away from it for a little bit. And then I have a friend of mine. I started a gym, and I had a friend of mine named Don, and Don has almost 500 properties now. And so he was a client. And so he was telling me like all these properties, and I was like, man, I wish I would have stuck with that. And he was on the raising capital side, and he was really big into rentals.
So he kind of rekindled that flame. Just every time he would come to the gym, we would talk. And so I decided one day, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna hop back into this thing, and I went to go buy my first rental property in Macon, Georgia. I'm sorry, not first rental property. I'm about to do my first flip. My first flip in Macon, Georgia, and that didn't go well. I lost $10,000 on that one. Not $10,000 less than I thought I was gonna make. Like I literally was negative, like $10,000.
But you know, I call that OJT, on the job training.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, people, you pay $10,000 for education.
That's exactly what it is, man. But here's the crazy thing is that it didn't feel like that at that point, right?
Yeah, of course not.
It just felt like a straight loss.
Yeah.
Especially trying to have them explain that to family. That I thought we were going to do this big real estate deal, and
losing 10 grand,
eating peanut butter and jelly for the next couple of days. So I lost $10,000 on that, and again, my boy Don kind of stepped in and said, "Listen, if the old adage of if you don't hop back on the horse, right? Like if you don't get back into this game immediately, like you don't immediately go find another property, you're going to stay out of it, and you're going to say real estate doesn't work, and you've heard that before, right?
Absolutely.
Real estate doesn't work. Oh, this thing is a scheme. It's only works for the filthy rich. It's all lies. But I really thank God that I listened to him and got back into the game. Yeah.
So did he tell you about wholesaling?
No, he didn't. He did not tell me about wholesaling. What he did is just kind of forced me to do it, and I bought another property. I was going to do another flip on it, and when I bought it, for people who haven't, I don't know everybody's level at, but when you buy and sell, you get a HUD statement, right? And that HUD statement is a federal document, and every penny has to be accounted for.
Correct.
And so I look at towards the bottom, and I'm like, yo, what is this $7,000 assignment? What is this thing, right? And the lawyer told me, I was like, oh yeah, this came from a wholesaler, and he's the one that showed you the property. I was like, yeah, but I thought that was the owner, And so I found out that at that point that I could have made $7,000 more. And so at that point I was intrigued. I was like, well, how did he get it? And so that's when I kind of got introduced to it, and then tried to do it on my own. That didn't work out too well.
Yeah. So around what year was that where you found wholesaling?
So that was 2000. So the first flip I did was 2017. Yeah. And then I did one right back into the next one, so it was all the same year, 2017.
Yeah, so 2017, you find out about wholesaling because you looked at a HUD statement and realized you paid $7,000 to somebody that brought you the deal. Where does that take you from there? I mean, that's not that long ago.
Yeah, it's not. So I started trying to do it on my own for a little bit, and I was horrible.
Yeah,
I was completely horrible. I was doing all the wrong things. You can only learn so much from YouTube. I found your podcast on there, or your YouTube channel on there. I've found so many other people's things, but it's like you don't have a very clear directive of what to do sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I had the experience before with owning a gym where I paid someone $7,000 to come and revamp my business, and I saw the benefit of that. And so I was like, well, this guy seems, you seem pretty knowledgeable, seem pretty relatable. So finally, I went through the process of getting ready to call you up, and finally made that move. And once I did that, that's when my business really started to take off. Because then I had a lot more clarity in where I wanted to go.
Yeah, I remember we back when I used to do these consultation calls.
Yeah.
We called up and we talked about wholesaling and stuff like that, and you kind of took off since then. What are you doing present day and time right now when it comes to like wholesaling and anything else you're doing real estate wise?
It's crazy. So in that process, right, the thing that I could afford the most was driving for dollars, and then you helped me with learn how to use list source and buying lists. I got really, really good at driving for dollars, and I just knew my numbers. I knew if I went out and I found 100 abandoned properties that I was going to get like 3 deals from those things.
Love it.
And so at that point I was like, well, how quickly can I find the next 100? And so for me, it was very time consuming because I didn't have all the tools. I was still skip tracing things like one by one. It was very tedious. So I brought some people onto the team to help me with that, and they would go out and find their whole life was to find at least 25 properties every single week. They can find 25 properties a week, which give me 100 properties a month. I can repeat that process.
So what you did is you took people's time and you multiplied it because what you drive for dollars is a great way to make money and a great way to find leads that don't show up on anybody else's radar.
Correct.
You took other people and you multiplied it because what you're doing wasn't scalable. So you said, hey, look, I'm going to go find people to do this driving for me and report back to me. How did you compensate them?
Yeah, so what I compensated them with was knowledge, basically, and experience. And so some of them panned out, some of them don't, just like any other business.
Yeah.
Some of them kind of brought deals on a pretty consistent basis. Some of them didn't. But what it did for me is it taught me that section of the business and how to work with other people and how to incentivize them. So I would bring them, they would bring me some of the deals, and I was very generous with the split. I would do 60-40. Keep in mind, I'm still doing a lot of the work, right?
Mm-hmm. So you would give them 60?
No, I would take 60.
Okay.
They would do 40, but I'm paying for the bandit sides.
No, I mean that's that's a great split for somebody that's literally just driving around.
Correct.
We typically, the industry is somewhere around like $1,500 to $1,000 if a deal closes. So you were doing that, but you were also teaching them.
I was teaching them. We would have meetings at my house.
Yeah.
We would do video calls. We would always go over things, always trying to train. I would, come up here with you, learn something that you're implementing. I was like, boom, let me take this back and implement it with the team. And we brought our whole team up there for one of those meetups. Yeah. So those are the things that I would do, and that just really helped me learn how to run. I wouldn't say it's a full-fledged, company, but it was like a small little business for myself, right? Where we had some people that I always say that they're not working for me; they're working with me, and I tried to embody that, so they felt like, okay, we want to go out there and do this. We want to go out and find these properties, and so I took that, and I was like, well, how can we? Because we're still at that point going out to get deals. Mm-hmm. How can we get deals coming? To us. And so one of the things that I like to do is I really love using social. So now to kind of, get you to the answer to your question, now most of the deals that I get come through social media. People bring me deals now because you just, you give information and you give, and people feel like, man, this has to be reciprocated. So they want to come back and give to you.
I'm a true believer in that. I do, a lot of JV opportunities do come across my desk a lot. With stuff. So no, it's real nice. As far as, do you do anything else? I know you say you're buying some property, so you're probably doing some rentals yourself to create that passive income. Yeah. Tell us more about that, because I think that's one of the missing pieces when it comes to being a wholesaler. A lot of people don't talk about when you start making money, what do you do with it as a wholesaler, right? Yeah. So what have you done?
So I think first of all you have to understand what type of investor that person is. There's some people that I speak with, investors that are looking to buy my properties, that they just, when it comes to rental properties, they just want to see how big is the actual rental check, not taking consideration how much they paid for the property. Yeah. And I'm more of an ROI. I want to see how big is my ROI percentage. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was smart. I started wholesaling in the Macon area, and that's one of my tips that I tell people is to probably start in a neighborhood that's more of a Macon or lower end neighborhood, because you can find a lot more deals. Yeah. But I found that neighborhood was just perfect for me to buy properties with. You can literally buy a house with one of your wholesale checks, no mortgage. Yeah. So I decided I was going to take a portion of my wholesale winnings or earnings and then reinvest it into buying rentals. Mm-hmm. And so now I have rentals that are bringing me monthly income. And so
which is very important.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm telling, I think that's a miss, and I probably need to do a video about it, but when you start making money as a wholesaler, what to do with it, right? Yeah. So my goal this year, I don't know if you have a goal, my goal is to buy 12 rentals. Yeah. I bought 2 so far this year. So I'm on schedule, but I want to kickstart it and do more, buy 1 rental a month. And we're in a market here where, for example, the 2 rentals we got is $16,500 with a tenant in it, and then we have another one that is $10,000. They do a little bit of work. Nice. But you're talking about literally putting out $26,000, maybe $30 total, and creating $1,300 a month in passive income.
It's a no-brainer. And what I found is when you learn that skill set, it's everything is a building block, right? Being able to get a higher ROI is a direct result of you being able to find the property cheap enough, right? So if you can't find the property cheap enough, then you might have a good ROI, but you're not going to have a great ROI. Correct. ROI. So my ROI on some of my properties are 20+% net. After I pay property manager taxes, and I'm netting 20+%. which you're never gonna find it anywhere else.
Yeah,
right? So
I think it's I think it's amazing, and that's why I said no matter where I am in the real estate world, I will never get rid of the actual like wholesaling side of it, because you just never know what you want to do with the property. I can buy it all, or I can pass it on and make money.
Correct.
But like you said, you're in a market where you buy and where you can take one wholesale check and buy a rental.
And so now I've seen, like, we had the Super Bowl in Atlanta, right? So I've seen the vision of Airbnb, and you literally can use your wholesaling skill set to find Airbnbs. And so that's another thing that I'm working on now, where we're not even buying the property anymore. We're just renting it, right? And we just it's really simple. We basically look at the Airbnb map, which is the hot zones, right? And find out what they're going for. There's like a way that we do this for over the weekends and the weekdays, and we just average it out. So we'll find out, so this particular neighborhood, we know that we can get on an average month 20 rentals, and those 20 rentals are going to equal $3,000 a month. Well, if I just rent it out, I might only make $1,000 or $1,200 a month. So it's a lot better for me to Airbnb it. I'll rent it for $1,000, right, and then make $3,000 on the back end.
Perfect.
So it's
You're arbitraging.
Exactly.
So you're literally taking a long-term lease and renting it out for short-term purposes. But you're very upfront with the owner on what you're doing.
It's a lot easier, because I mean, like when you wholesale something, you gotta find, you gotta first you gotta find the owner to skip trace, and you gotta skip trace them. They don't, most of the time, a lot of times they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to, But when you're doing these, all these people want to be found. They all want their house rented. It's just whether or not they want to sublease.
So you're creating passive income with real estate you don't own.
Don't own.
By using Airbnb.
Airbnb, VRBO, home away from home, all those different platforms. Yeah.
Amazing. It's crazy what wealth you can build through real estate by just controlling it.
Controlling it, exactly. Someone told me that. It's like, you don't really want to own it, you want to control it. Even when you do own it, you just want to control it through your business, right?
Correct.
So
through trust, through your business,
correct.
whatever
it
is.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So if you had to give any advice to somebody just listening to this podcast right now that's thinking about getting into wholesaling, or that's wholesaling now and they haven't had any success in finding their deal, what's one thing you would give a person that's listening to you right now?
I would say, I think AI is killing us, right? AI.
Explain what you mean by AI.
So I'm thinking arrogance and ignorance, right? Those two things are killing.
I thought you were talking about like artificial intelligence.
No. Yeah. I think the arrogance of thinking that you could, I mean, and I was there, so I'm speaking for myself, that you could literally just watch a couple videos here and there, thinking that, I'm this. I know everybody else has to do this, but for me, I don't need to do that, right? A lot of people think that they're above having to go out and seek help, but we do it for everything else. We do it for school, we do it for jobs. We all go out there and we seek help, and we pay for it. Whether or not you're paying for it directly with cash or you're paying with your time, you're still paying for it.
Yeah.
And so the arrogance and ignorance that I think a lot of us have getting into this game is what holds most people back, because they don't want to. It's not that they don't have the money to do it. They just don't want to go ahead and pay for mentorship.
They don't see the value in doing all that stuff. I get it, because I'm at the point now where obviously I see and hear a lot of people every day getting into this business, and I think a lot of people get into it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. For
them short term, to meet their short-term successes or whatever like that. But I tell people, look, this is a real, true business. Yeah, you can do one-off deals here and there.
Yeah.
This is a true business.
It really is. Yep.
So you really need to dedicate yourself and put the work in to get here, and do it in a very ethical way. There's an ethical way to do this.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are very lazy. I almost hate the word JV now, just because people use it as like a way of anybody want a JV? I got a buyer.
Yeah. Try to find it on your own.
Yeah.
So, and that's the other thing is, after the AI is like putting in the action. Like, I think one of the things that I hope that you saw with me is that you gave me something to do and I implemented it
real fast.
And so the other thing is that when I talk to people, I remember you having this conversation. I remember it was like yesterday, man, when I was setting up these free phone calls for these people, and you were like, man, like, most of these people like 90% of them are not going to take action. And it's so true. I would spend hours on the phone with them and they just wouldn't take any action.
Wouldn't do anything.
You know, first of all, get over yourself, right? Don't think that you're above getting a mentor or something like that. And then actually, once you get the actual facts, once you get it from someone who's actually doing it, just don't stop and take action.
Yeah, because listen, I'm proven method that anybody can do it. You're proving that anybody can do it. I mean, this will change your life if you put in the action and actually do what you know is supposed to be done. It's not an easy business, but it's simple.
Yeah.
And if you
it's really smart.
you just do it, if you just do it, consistently, you're gonna win at this game.
Yeah.
You have a course that you have now.
Yes. Yep.
So tell us a little bit about that.
That's cool. I wasn't even going to talk about the course, but so we
gotta drop it.
Yeah, appreciate that. So we have a course. The course is stupid cheap. Like it really, I shouldn't say cheap, but it's so affordable. And we've had these conversations, man. I really want the opportunity for everybody. I want to kind of like just dispel that myth that you cannot afford to get into this game. Yeah. Right. The course is, I just tell people right up front, I can tell them, right, it's $47, $47.
You can't beat that. Any information you can get for $47.
Can I tell them how much, you were charging? So, he was charging me $100 a half an hour, right? Mm-hmm. And well worth it. Like literally from that moment of me paying $100, like my business went like this.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
So back when I used to do phone calls, and I thought it was the best use of my time, which turned out it wasn't. Tommy was one that booked a phone call with me. If you watch any of my earlier YouTube videos, and that's why me and Tommy became friends. I actually met a lot of good friends. I met Brian Arigbu the same way through the phone calls. Yeah. So I don't do them anymore. That's why I do a lot more YouTube videos. But you're right. It's like a lot of people, and I told people from the beginning, don't have me call you and you not take action, because I don't care about this money, right? I just care about me wasting my time talking to you and you're not going to go do what I'm saying, but you went out and implemented it.
Yeah, implement it. And so my point being is that so with the course for $47, it's $47 a month, no contract. My philosophy is I don't want you in the course if you don't want to be in the course, right? So $47 a month, you get 25 video modules that literally walk you down with homework, step by step by step. All starting off with me and you are probably our favorite issues is the mindset. Big time. And then walking you through what wholesaling is, how to find lawyers, how to find buyers, how to fill out your contracts, the scripts, everything involved. And then twice a week on Sunday and on Wednesday at 7 p.m., we hop on a live Zoom call where everybody gets to kind of join in. They used to bring in their deals and questions. I was just doing one when you guys were messing with me. You guys are such kids, man. You're such kids. So to get to hop on the call, we talk about different strategies, 1031 exchanges, how to use the Airbnb, how to find them. We go a little more deep down into it. And we just try to bring as much value as possible. We even have a feature where we have a friend of mine, Dave Shantz. He has a Sleepless Nights. He's like a business guru. He will help you get your business on track. Yeah. And that comes along with it on Mondays as well. So it's a really good program. For $47, like you spend more money on things that kill you. Like you go to McDonald's and spend $47, right, a month. So, it's a no-brainer.
No, I like it, and the price point reflects that you like teaching. I knew that about you a lot. You like to go speak and teach at places.
I do.
Are you on social?
I am definitely on social. At Tommy Holt Jr. TOMMYHOLT JR. And that's for all social media, Instagram.
So Tommy Holt Jr. is where you're on social media.
Yeah, and so if you go on there, you can find the course. They can find everything they need about the course. Just go to the bio.
And you're in Atlanta, right?
Yep, in the Atlanta area.
And you're doing your meetups, right?
Yeah. So you set it off, man. We still trying to get that number. You came out there and packed the house out.
Yeah, I'm coming back soon.
Yeah, man, please do. We do those every either first Thursday or first Wednesday, depending on the month. Yeah. First Thursday or Thursday.
Where can they find that information?
They can find all that information all on our Instagram. So if you go to Tommy Holt Jr., you can find all that information there. We post it up there. We'll post it normally about 2 weeks out. Anything that we do on there, our course is up there. It's etewholesalingedition.com. Got it. So we post all that stuff up there, so any information up there.
Before we get out of here, tell me one of your goals this year, and then we're going to try to hold you accountable back.
Absolutely. Later. Okay, awesome. So one of my goals this year is to add at least another 4 Airbnbs. to my arsenal. If I can put another 4 Airbnbs, that'll put me about $3,000 per Airbnb. Passive income, and I'm going to have, I run it with a property manager, so they'll run it, so I won't even really have to do too much with it. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Tommy, look, I appreciate you
being the first one.
Man.
Hold on. I got to give you a little gift, man, for the first inaugural podcast here.
I love it,
bruh. Yeah, this is our homes here. I mean, our hat there with
see that?
The heart. We love ugly houses. So
cool. I don't wear hats much, so, you know.
Yeah, I know. But I saw the cowboy hat. I was like, man, I know you wear some type of hat.
Yeah,
man.
I do.
But
like I said, man, appreciate you coming out.
Thanks, brother.
First one here in this space,
dope.
and I'll make sure to be giving you guys this tour for this place.
Yeah.
Make sure. These hats available?
Oh yeah, they're available.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Just go to his Instagram to get everything. And listen, if you don't know by now, you better know. I'm going to be in Dallas, Texas, March 22nd to the 24th, holding the largest wholesaling real estate conference ever. We're going to have 1,200 to 1,500 like-minded individuals in this place. Plus, we got my guy, Gary V, as the keynote. Gary V. How many times has Gary V spoken?
Don't miss it.
You got to be there, all right? Go to wholesalingelitelive.com to get your tickets, or simply go to WeLive19.com to get your tickets. And I'll see you next time. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell so you get the notifications, and smash the like button here. And if you're on iTunes or Spotify, please give me a rating. It really helps us move up in the rankings. And I'll see you guys next time. And remember, you're only one deal away.
Let's go.
Thank you for listening to the Wholesaling Houses Elite podcast with Maxwell. Make sure to tune in next week to see what elite wholesaler will have in the hot seat.